Curtis Calhoun here with MMA News, and right now I am joined by UFC light heavyweight Dustin Jacoby, number 15 in the rankings, coming off of a big win this past weekend at UFC Long Island. How's it going, Dustin?
Curtis, it's going well, man. Extremely pumped up, super happy right now, and thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely. Glad to have you. And first off, we got to talk about that post-fight bonus, getting the first round knockout. How great does it feel to not only get the knockout, but get that post-fight bonus too?
Oh, it feels great, man. Of course, getting the knockout first and foremost is what I was trying to do and everything I wanted to do. And the bonus is icing on the cake. It's eluded me here in 9 UFC fights. I haven't been able to get it. I thought I should have got it in my first fight back in the UFC when I fought Justin Ledet in October 2020. Didn't get it then. But all good things take time, man. And I think I opened the floodgates. There's no doubt in my mind that, I'm a bonus fighter. And I think here coming forward, I'll continue getting them.
Any special plans with the bonus? Are you saving it? Are you buying something nice with it? What's the initial plan as of right now?
I'm a big crypto guy, man. I truly believe in cryptocurrencies. 95% of them are shit, but the 5% that are out there are changing the world. And I'm heavily invested in that. And I'm definitely, I have a little bit of Bitcoin, but I'm going to make sure I get at least one, maybe two Bitcoin with that. And so that's my plan, man. I'm going to invest and thank myself 10 years from now.
How do you celebrate the win afterwards? Did you get some of that New York pizza? What did you do afterwards?
Yeah, we did. The first meal I had was some New York pizza from Vince. It's a great Italian spot. We went there the night before for dinner, and we had so much good food, and my mouth was watering. I had little bites here and there, but I couldn't completely indulge the way I wanted to. And I saved a pizza and took it back with me. And as soon as we got the win, went down to the hotel bar, heated it up, and started having some drinks and smashing some pizza.
Talk to me a little bit about the atmosphere of competing on Long Island. Obviously, it was an early start to the card, but it seems like pretty much from beginning to end, the crowd was into it. What was that whole experience like?
Yeah, absolutely. I was the third fight on the prelims, and I've been there before. So anytime you're that early in the prelim card, it's usually not popping the way it was. Maybe 1,000 people. But dude, when I was walking out, the place seemed packed. The crowd was electric. Everybody was complaining about the early morning start time, but that crowd brought it, man. I could feel their energy. I fed off of it. And, I fought in New York in November at Madison Square Garden. I was the fourth or fifth fight on the prelim card, and they love me there. New York so far has given the Hanyak a warm welcome. I enjoy competing for those fans, and I look forward to maybe getting back there here one of these days.
Absolutely, man. And walk me through that knockout, because you caught him with the right cross. Your opponent, Un Jung, obviously a really tough guy. Take me through that whole sequence and how it played out in your mind.
Yeah, well, I knew he was a surging prospect. I knew he was really good. 15 fight unbeaten streak. I had just climbed into the rankings. I had just got a ranking next to my name. And I looked at it as defending my spot. I was a little bit more nervous than I have been in my previous fights. For that reason alone, man, I didn't want to get there and then lose a fight and get knocked back down. So I really had to go out there and bring my A game. And from the moment we walked out, I had a good vibe. He had a great walkout song that pumped me up. Of course, my walkout song, Tom Petty, "Running Down a Dream," really hits home to me, and the crowd loves it. And he was a great dance partner, man. It takes two to tango. He was out there. He was fun to vibe with. He was fun to compete against. We were going back and forth. I hit him with my patented. I usually check him at the gate with I raise my knee and check him. I throw that left hook. I've got a lot of people. I started, that was the beginning of the end for the Darren Stewart fight. I got Max Christian with it, Kutlaba. Pretty much everybody I fight, I hit with that check left hook. And when I did so, I saw his eyes roll a little bit. And I immediately put the foot on the gas and just threw that 1-2. And when I threw that 2 and hit him, when he was going down, his eyes were completely rolling. I saw that. So I turned and I'm walking to my coach and he was cheering, but then he got this serious look and pointed. And I was like, oh shit, I turned around really fast. I thought that he was coming at me. And right when I turned around, he was standing, but he gave a wobble. And, there was some people complaining that it was an early stoppage, but trust me, man, I promise you, I've been there before. Like he was done. Any shots after that would have been super unnecessary. And maybe early in my career, I would have went for the finish, but also, let me tell you, man, I'm processing everything in my mind very fast, but in slow motion. And when I saw those eyes roll, I told myself, I'll walk off here and it's 50K 100%. And that's what I did. I walked off and he stood up quick, but he wasn't there, man. I've been there, Alex Pereira, I've only been knocked out one time. And, his mindset, his warrior mentality was saying fight, but your body's not allowing you to. And I know that, again, anything after that would have been super unnecessary. And I just would have put him out cold. So, it is what it is, man. I got the win. I got the finish. I got the 50K. So I have no complaints.
Do you take some extra pride in beating these up and coming prospects? Because obviously you were the older fighter, but in a way you're kind of up and coming too. You just got in the rankings of the second stint in your career in the UFC. Is there some extra pride that comes with that?
Oh, absolutely, man. I have a lot of pride in myself. I'm a prideful guy. And yeah, I took a lot of pride in knowing that I had to defend my spot. I couldn't let this guy come up and take everything that I've worked for, and it hasn't just been the, past couple of years in this run, man. It's been the last 12 years of my career. And yeah, I've worked so hard to be here. And I always say, you got to go through it to get to it. And, my experience is everything, man. I knew he was a younger fighter. I knew he was a very good fighter, upcoming prospect, but I knew that I was better. I think I was just a little bit better, and my experiences give me that confidence. And yeah, man, I knew I was going to get the job done.
And while you've been on this win streak, you've been in a lot of tough battles during this streak. Do you feel like the experience that you've had during your career will be a benefit for you as you make your way towards the top 10?
Oh, 100%. Like I said, I was more nervous this fight because of the opponent and the ranking next to my name and defending my spot. But I'm such a veteran, man. I knew those nerves were going to play to my favor. I knew that they were going to help me be extremely sharp that night. I'm always focused. I'm a really focused fighter. I'm determined. I dial in, man. When it's time to flip the switch, I'm so good at doing that. And that comes from the experience. This hasn't happened overnight. I've always pictured myself in this position that I'm in right now. I've always had that deep self-belief and determination. It just took a little bit longer than I expected. And I'm fine with that, man. All good things come with time. And here we are, we're thriving and surviving now.
Before this second stint in the UFC, obviously, you've talked a lot about your time in Glory Kickboxing. How do you feel like that experience of being in Glory Kickboxing helped you in the second stint of your MMA career?
Oh, it's everything, man. It means everything to me. Like I said, I've been through it to get to it. And when those are just words, but to me, that has such a deeper meaning. I've went toe to toe with some of the best stand-up fighters in the world. Glory taught me how to become a real fighter. It taught me, it takes a guy that's been down to the bottom, that's lost several fights in a row, that's been drugged through the mud. It takes a guy like that to know what it takes to dig deep and win those fights and win those big moments. And really, that's what the fight is, man. It's a lot of different moments. A moment's roughly 90 seconds. And again, before the fight, coach was like, "Hey, let's go win a bunch of moments tonight." And I looked at him, I was like, "Hey, man, I hope we just have one moment today. I hope there's only a couple moments." And sure enough, there was only a couple moments, and that's all it took. But dude, I've been through the ringer. I've been through it to get to it. I've locked horns with some of the toughest, mentally toughest, physically toughest guys that there is. And that's what gives me my confidence today.
And what's your post-fight routine usually like? Do you like taking a couple days off from the gym and training and all that, or do you like getting right back in there? What's the plan this week?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I usually have to take time off because I'm injured, just let the injury heal. Even this fight, it looked smooth. My right wrist is pretty sore. My right foot is a little sore. Nothing detrimental or that's going to be hindering me for a while, but it is a little bit sore. I got a big week planned this week. I'm headed to the Lake of the Ozarks and going on a little boys golf trip. Golfing is one of my favorite hobbies. And, if I'm not in the gym, you can find me on the golf course typically. And that's what I do with my time, man. So I'm going to go do that this week. And then I got a good buddy, training partner of mine, Rob Wilkinson. He's the number one ranked 205er in the PFL tournament, and he's got a big fight coming up. So I got to get back and help him. He was in the gym the week after helping me, so I got to go return that favor to him. And at Factory X, as we say, iron sharpens iron. So it's an individual sport, but I couldn't do this without my team, and I got to be in there to help them. So and another thing, you just can't take too much time off. Consistency is key, and it's got me this far. So just gotta, it's all. It seems all glorious now, but here sooner or later, it's back to the grind and back to the real world, and nothing good happens without putting the work in.
I want to ask you about another one of your teammates too, Cody Brundage, obviously coming off of a big win over Tresean Gore. What do you feel like his potential is in the UFC, and what makes him so good in the gym?
Yeah, I believe Cody has a ton of potential. He's an up and coming guy. He's so green. He's still so early in his career, man. I tell him to just slow down, take it easy. You got a long way to go, and he knows that too. But he brings a lot of skills to the table. He's not only a guy that looks strong, he is strong. He's a great training partner for me. He sucks to grapple with. He sucks to wrestle with. But I know when I go into these fights, that's where I'm comfortable. I'm like, hey, man, you can't grab me or hold me the way that
Right.
Cody does. And he has a ton of potential, man. His biggest thing's up here. He's still working on that daily, and he's got a long way to go, as we all do. But that's what makes me so strong, man. I've got years in this game. I tell people all the time, like, when I go into a fight, I'm so mentally strong. They can't break me. They can't hurt me. I've already been broken. I've already been hurt. I've already been through it. And it takes some of that, the experience to really, really survive and thrive and to get to where I'm at right now. And again, Cody has all the potential in the world, and he's going to get there. There's no doubt in my mind. He's great. He's just got to take it one day at a time, keep working. And yeah, I see big things ahead for that kid.
Then I want to touch a little bit on your last fight. You mentioned in the lead up that you were dealing with a little bit of a foot injury. Any lingering issues with that, or is 100%, or what's
No,
the status of
it's
that?
100%. Yeah, no, it's 100%, man. I had a great camp. Last camp I wasn't able to do any cardio for the first time ever. About 5 weeks out from that fight, I had contemplating pulling out of the fight. But thank God, knock on wood, I've never had that problem before. I've always been healthy. I've never went into fights too injured. Of course, there's injuries here or there that we all work through. I'm not the only one. Every single guy you see step in that octagon has an injury they're dealing with. But that last fight was just a little bit more than usual, and it didn't feel good, man. It sucked. I knew I had to win that fight up here, and that's what I did. I was able to get that done. It gave me even more confidence, and that opponent was extremely tough and durable and very good. So to be able to get in there and get the win over him, that felt good. But this camp, I was completely healthy. I was on point, man. The work had been put in, and I knew I was going to go out there and do something great.
Love to hear it, man. And a couple more questions for me. Once again, I really do appreciate the time. We have a new light heavyweight champion, Yuri Prochazka. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk lately about who should he defend his title against, whether it be Glover Teixeira or Jan Blachowicz. What do you feel like he should do with his first title defense?
Well, I think that he already said he's going to give it to Glover. I think he's going to pay his respects and let Glover get that rematch, which is completely justified in my opinion. I think the rest of the world too, man. That was Glover's fight for the taking. I think he even with all his experience, man, he pulled some rookie mistakes there in that last round. He tried shooting and going for the guillotine when he had him rocked. If he would have just stayed standing with him, I thought he could have knocked him out, or at least, kept on the feet and was winning the fight. And just made a couple rookie mistakes. I think he looks back on and is like, man, how did I do that? Or why did I do that? But with that being said, both guys are extremely tough. Both guys are extremely durable. Jerry is, I think one thing that Jerry brings to the table is his mind game. I think he's mentally as tough as they come. You're never going to beat that guy when it comes to mentality. You may be able to match him, but you're not going to beat him. I think he's a mentally just very well a solid foundation upstairs, and of course has the skills to back it up. So I think that's a great fight, and may the best man win. It was a very close fight. I think it'll be another tough fight for both guys, and that division's wide open. You get John Jones out of the picture. There's a lot of guys at the top of that division that could give that title a run, and here pretty soon I think I'm going to be one of them.
Absolutely, man. And last question for me. I saw you mention in another interview that you're interested in a fight with Volkan Oezdemir. First question for me. How do you see his matchup playing out with Paul Craig? And why do you feel like the Volkan fight makes the most sense to you?
Well, I look at everybody ranked above me, and I definitely want a guy in the top 10. Volkan, I think, is 8 or 9. And I think that's a great opportunity of everybody in that top 10. He's the guy that I think would be the best dance partner for me. I've always kind of seen that. I passed Volkan before way back. I wasn't even in the UFC. but I see him at a hotel. I think it was in or at a event. I think I was cornering a teammate in London years back in 2018, and I passed by him. It's funny, man. These signs. I'm a big signs guy. I pick up on these signs, and I think they've all led me to where I am. You know, I've got a strong relationship with the universe, and I really see things unfolding. And I remember passing by him, and I just remember that wave of energy, and just thinking like, yeah, you know, I mean, he's here for a reason. We're crossing paths right now for a reason, and I've just always kind of had that in my mind. So I think that's why that I really want that fight. And he's fighting Paul Craig here coming up this week in London. So I hope he wins that fight, because that would be a great opponent for me. And I guess I take the winner of that fight, but I really hope Volkan comes out. I think that's my best dance partner.
That's awesome, man. We're looking forward to it. Before we go wrap out things up here, I'll give you the final word to shout out your sponsors, shout out your team, social media if you want, all of that good stuff. I'll give you the final word.
Yeah, you can follow me at Instagram at the Hanyak DJ. It's where I interact with fans the most, and Twitter too. Same handle. Shout out to my team at Factory X, at Landau Performance, my agency, Iridium Sports Agency, my management company. Those guys are the best. And a couple sponsors of mine. First, Fit Soda. It's a startup company. It's a healthy drink, healthy alternative to soda. It's made up of branched chain amino acids, electrolytes. It's great for recovery. If I had kids, man, they'd be drinking Fit Soda. It tastes like soda. It's carbonated. It's got that carbonated kick, but it's healthy, and it's so good, man. I'm not even being biased. I've tried them all. This one's the best tasting one, and with a lot of benefits. And then another startup company, El Bandito Yankee Tequila. I've actually got both of them right now in this drink. I got Fit Soda and El Bandito Yankee Tequila that I'm sipping on, enjoying myself, man. And both those companies are great. They support the Hanyak, and I truly appreciate that. And I think that big things are ahead for them as well for me. So be on the lookout for them, and be on the lookout for me as I continue to climb through the top of the division, and keep this streak going.
Well deserved, man. Well, Dustin, thanks again for the time. Really do appreciate it. I know you got a lot going on today, and I'm sure we'll chat again soon, man.
I appreciate you, bro.